We've been trying to plan this for about a year, and we look forward to really hearing more about this app and how it's going to be working. And if you have any other ideas for different webinars or other events, please do let us know, and we'd be happy to organize an event for you. And if you have any ideas, also let us know about different topics that you would like covered. But this one is going to be by Paul, and it's about the app they created on screen readers on how to make things more accessible. So without further ado, I'll just turn it over to Paul. Thanks so much, Paul, for coming to us with this great idea.
Yeah, thank you, Judith. It took 1 year because we were still in process of translating, and yeah, we have developed quite some cool things for in the world of the accessibility. But yeah, we started from the Netherlands. I'm from the Netherlands, and yeah, piece by piece, we're translating now the things that we are have developed, and I will share it with you today. I will focus on the screen reader app, but I will start with mentioning some other projects that we did. Yes, like I will start a little bit briefly about the company that we have. Yeah, we're based in the Netherlands, and we were two persons. Jan-Jaap de Groot, he's a developer, expert in accessibility, and built also the Corona apps here in the Netherlands, and made them also the first apps that are 100% accessible. Yeah, basically what we do is that we build software to find, solve, prevent accessibility errors, and yeah, based on the roadmap, we help also companies yeah, making their apps accessible. We are focusing only on apps. Abra, our company, is like one of the initiators of the App Foundation, but they're working with other companies as well. And like 2 weeks ago, we created a knowledge base. You can find it on app.org, and it's really nice because we had that knowledge base in Dutch, in the Dutch language, and now it's available for everyone. You can find, for example, 250 code examples on each criteria how to fix problems in apps, but also you can find there's this settings, how many users are using enlarged text size, how many users are using the screen reader, stuff like that. It's really big and broad knowledge base for app accessibility. We created a hotline, like inaccessible app. It's in Dutch called ontoegankelijk, where we by now have around 300 reports of people with different kind of disabilities and backgrounds that reporting accessibility problems. And yeah, what we think it's really cool is that even people that are dependent on the screen reader are making screen recordings to show the developer what is the problem they occur. And today we're going to talk about the screen reader app. This app is already active for almost 2 years. It was initiated. Yeah, maybe it's good first to go to the screen reader to this slide. I will test something to copy in the chat the links so that you can download it right away. It's the on screenreader.app. Not that complicated, but you can find the download links there to use the app yourself. It's completely free. Yeah, the screen reader app, we initiated it during Corona lockdowns because we saw that the visually impaired people were not able to learn how to become like skilled in the screen reader anymore because the training locations were closed. So yeah, we developed the app where you can like learn the gestures of the screen reader, and yeah, by doing that, we learned that also other target groups, such as a professional developer or tester, they also had to learn how to use the screen reader. And it was really that we got a lot of feedback that those people that are developers and testers, that they liked to experience the screen reader without having to turn them on right away. So what we did, like we launched it in 2020, the screen reader app, but in October in 2021 we redesigned it. We added visual elements to help also people that are professionally working, had to work with the screen reader to test their app, that they have also a great experience. And then, last May we translated the app, so it became available for everyone in the world to use. The app was funded by SCDN funds, and also each time we developed it further, the SCDN funds helped us with that. And the cool thing was that we launched it in May, and we promoted it in our own network the last few months. But basically we got all of a sudden like more than 3,700 downloads. So it's increasing still. So it's quite cool that we see users from all over the world finding our app, and basically without any international promotion. So this is the first time we are sharing this app to a wider audience. So I'm really curious what kind of feedback you have for us. So like my contacting details will be in the slide. So I really hope that you will give feedback what you think about this app. If you want to have a question, like add questions in the chat, and I will try to answer them on the go as well. So let's start on how the app is working. You can use the app to learn to talk back, just how to put it on, stuff like that, general information. And on iOS, how to learn voiceover. You can learn the gestures. You can learn them one by one, or you can practice with or without instructions. And you can learn actions, for example, to copy and paste information. So that kind of things is possible in the app. There are some differences between Android and iOS. With iOS, it works with voiceover on. And in our experience, most people that are visually impaired use an iOS device. So it's good that it works with voiceover on as well. On Android, it doesn't work with talkback on yet. There's some technical limitations that we had to overtake. We did overtake it, but you have to, let's say, add your own talkback feature, and you also have to put it on manually. So it's quite some instructions there in order to make it work. So we chose now not to activate it yet. But I really hope in the future there will be some technical solutions that it will be easier to use. I'll just go to each step of the app. On the first step, you can learn about talkback and voiceover. You can learn what is the screen reader, why do you need to learn it, and how can you learn it, how to put it on and off, and how to add shortcuts. So again, for the professional user, it's really handy that you can just, with the buttons, volume buttons, you can add the shortcut, so your screen reader goes on and off easily. That makes it, for me, it's very easy to test an app, because it takes me 1 second to turn on the screen reader, test something, switch it off again. So that's that experience I want to share with the developers and testers as well. Cool. Beta.app.org. We launched it 2 weeks ago, but there's a lot of information on how to put on the screen reader and how to switch it off. And so I wanted to make some promotion here as well. I think this one is clear. Then learn the gestures. On top, you can see practice, where you can practice with or without instructions. For each instruction, we added an icon describing how you can how you can make the gesture. And it looks like this. For example, explore the screen, touch the screen with one finger, and it will read out everything what's under your finger. It's very easy. You see a hand with a circle around it, with one circle. So if you press it once, you will read out what's under the finger. So if there will be two circles, it will be the double tap icon, and it will be the next gesture. If you want to know more information about the gesture, you can also read the explanation. So it's quite easy, quite fun to learn the gestures with this app. So yeah, we have the gestures with swiping with 1 to 3 fingers, but also tapping 1 to 4 fingers, and certain shortcuts. So close app, for example, can be a shortcut. And then I want to show a video. I was thinking about doing it live, but yeah, I decided to make a video so that it will be working for sure. In the bottom of the screen, you can see subtitles. So if you want to hear what's on the screen, you can also read out in the button the subtitles.
Activate the selected item. Tap the screen 2 times with 1 finger. Use the rotor to alert. Gesture performed correctly. Choose a rotor setting. Make a rotating movement with 2 fingers. Alert. Gesture performed correctly. Close a notification or go back to the previous screen. Make a zigzagging movement with 2 fingers in the shape of the letter Z. Make a zigzag. Alert. Gesture performed correctly. Turn the screen curtain on or off. Tap the screen 3 times with 3 fingers. Use the rotor to alert. You have successfully performed all gestures.
Yeah, that's a very nice command. Tap the screen with 3 fingers 3 times in order to make it completely black. So you can actually have the same experience as the real users of the screen reader. And this is how the app works. This is the practice, this was the flow of practicing. And you just get all the gestures in random order until you complete them all. And yeah, if you make an error, you get also feedback again, and yeah, it will be explaining you how to do it successfully.
Activate the selected item.
Yeah, then the last tab is it's actions. You can learn here how to navigate by headings and navigate by links, and also text editing to select text, copy text, and paste text. I made a video again. I will be talking in this video as well, so there will be no subtitles, but I think there will be a captioner in this call, so everyone can fully perceive the information. Let's play again.
Yeah, let's go to the next section, actions. In this section, you can learn how to navigate by headings, navigate by links, and to select text, copy text, and paste text. Yeah, let's go to the first one, navigate by headings.
Completed. Navigate by headings. 3 of 8 in list. 8 items. Navigate by headings. Back button out of list. Double tap to activate.
And here's shown what you should do to navigate by headings. You should first swipe up and down with 1 finger in the smooth motion until you hear headings.
Controls. Links. Swipe up or swipe down to read. Controls. Headings. Swipe up or swipe down to read by headings.
Now I go from heading to heading. So if I swipe down.
Navigate by headings. Heading. Heading 1. Heading. Heading 2. Heading. Heading 3. Training completed successfully.
Yeah, there's you can see how we managed to to teach people how to switch from heading to heading. This is important because it will make sure that also developers see that visually impaired people use headings to be able to understand the information on the screen more faster, like that we go from heading to heading visually as well. Yeah, I think it's clear. We have information about talkback, the gestures, you can learn it in different ways, and actions. And I want to go to what our ambition is with this app. So the first ambition was that people that are dependent on the screen reader or on learning the screen reader before they can participate in this world again, that we can help them. That was in COVID times. What we see now is that it is also used by a lot of professionals, and we see that there's a lot of need in learning the screen reader gestures in order to be able to test an app. A lot of success criteria, you need the screen reader to test. So what we want to do is to promote our app further, so that there will be more downloads and more people using it, that we get feedback. What we think would be cool is to partner with the eye associations worldwide or other NGOs working with visually impaired people. And our real ambition on the next step in this app is to add an e-learning, because basically what we heard so far from Dutch institutions is that it's quite hard to let people learn the screen reader by themselves, because if you, for example, do an e-learning and you say go to the Facebook app and the second element will trigger a pop-up, and that pop-up you will not be able to close and find the solution. Basically, if Facebook updates, the issue will be gone. There will be no issue that you can solve anymore. So what we want to do is to add an e-learning, so step by step, how you can learn the gestures technically, like how it's now, but also that people do exercises, copy, and like more like the actions, like go from heading to heading, or there's a pop-up in the screen, how can you close it? And that if we see that people struggle, we can give them suggestions, but we can basically make in-app experience. So maybe we make our own notepad app, and it will trigger some issues. It will trigger that you have to copy paste text, and if you do it successfully, you will go to the next assignment. Basically meaning that we did not see it before. I know that you can practice the gestures at on the iOS and Android devices as well, but I think making it like a e-learning that a lot of people, especially in the poorer countries that don't have the facilities like we have in the Netherlands with, I don't know, testing locations, training locations, that would be really good to develop this further. So yeah, I think I hope in this session also that you will spread the app existence further, and if you have ideas on making it more successful, like for us there's no business model in it, we developed it because we think it's a cool product that we really saw a need. So if anyone has ideas on partnering up, we're very happy to get to know you. Yeah, are there any questions? Is there any feedback, any ideas, any suggestions? Then I would be happy to answer them to you.
Paul, thanks so much for this excellent presentation. I guess my first question is, if people are using the iPhone's reading capability, how does this work with that? And also, is this for, so I guess what does this help ones that don't have like easy mobile controls, or just I don't really know as much about screen readers, so I was hoping you enlighten us a bit.
Yeah, this, like in general, like if you have a visual impairment, you can't read what is on the screen, and then you need the screen reader. You can go with your finger on over the screen, and it will just read out everything that is under your finger. Basically means that you can explore the screen even if you're blind. If you're blind, it's complicated to, for example, see where you are on the screen. So you can like use your keyboard or your like gestures to go to the next element. Like an app should operate that if you start a certain screen, that you should go to the first element and you should be able to tap, or with the arrows or with spacebar. If you use an external keyboard or button, like there's also, for example, switch control, you can go to the next item. But because you're not able to see, you just have to explore everything. You can do it just going to the next item with swiping. But you can also go from heading to heading or from link to link. So you can understand how the screen is built up, and you can make as good use of apps as when you can see what's on the screen. The issues occurs that if the focus order is not good, that it's like not from left to right, from top to bottom, or there are no correct labels, or there's other issues, it's not working. And then either you as a professional, for sure, if you don't add labels, people that are dependent on the screen reader to read out what's on the screen those persons occur like that they're not able to understand what the button is and where it goes. So as a developer, you have a responsibility to add the label so everyone can use the apps in the way you want them to use it. But also for users, it is possible to have some workarounds and to be digitally skilled to learn. So if there's no back button available, you can have a gesture as well to go to the previous screen. So by being very digitally skilled, you can overcome certain issues as well. So for sure, the developer needs to make apps accessible, that it's like by law and like needed. And that's, I think, the best, the right thing to do. But besides that, I think also a user can really make a difference. And if you're digitally skilled, you can do things faster, better, and without too many frustration as well. So I don't know if I answer your question, but
So yes, thanks so much. So it also is free. It's also for people, I guess, who don't have JAWS or other similar systems that they use.
I can maybe show it really quickly. So like this is our app, and what the cool thing is that I have a shortcut, like with my volume up and my, I don't know what this button is, but it will just activate my screen reader.
By using gestures, you can navigate between elements on the screen. Each element, this allows you to control your running talkback heading.
And because I can put it on, I can test something very quickly and turn it off again. And that's what I want the developers will do as well. So they developed a piece of a mobile website or an app, and then instead of just putting it live and that people experience that they cannot use it and that they get that they have to give feedback, and that you have kind of a reactive way of organizing accessibility. So basically, let's see if we get feedback and then do something. You can also, in your development process, incorporate it so that you fix issues before the user experience them. And what I see in the Netherlands, that for governments, they have to work on accessibility, and some apps are accessible. What I see is that on our mobile, like in our identification app from the government, it's used by 10 million people or something, like really a lot of users. They spend really a lot of money on accessibility. So it's working. It's really working. But in a recent update, they forgot that the menu, it was not keyboard accessible. So the screen reader did not activate the menu. It was just, you go to the element and then you have the menu, but it just forgot about it. It didn't go there. So they were not able to activate the menu. So this is an issue. If you would have tested with one user for 10 minutes, they should have given you this feedback. But it also means that as a professional, you make an app and you just go through it once, just to see if the screen reader can activate everything and that it's possible to go everywhere. It just takes really not that much effort, but you should know how to do it, how it works. And this is why the screen reader app, I think it could be really helpful for people that are visually impaired, to help them, one, to learn the first gestures and to become digitally active, but also for people that are already active to learn the more experienced, like the more advanced settings. That's one target group. And the second, I think, for professionals and developers, it's not that complicated, but by knowing the gestures and to experience it yourself, you will not forget how, once you put the screen reader on your own device, then you start understanding what it means that if you want to select the button and it's not working. Especially on iOS, with the 3 taps with 3 fingers, you can make your screen black, so you don't see anything, but you can still swipe and like discover the screen, what's under the finger. So basically, you have the same experience as someone that is blind, except if you're not able to find the solution, and you can tap with 3 fingers to make the screen on again. Someone that is blind cannot do it, and really have to just go figure it out. That's what the problem is, that there's no escape for if it doesn't work. And that's why what we see in the Netherlands, that there's we have the reporting app where we get 300 reports, that it's really a lot of people that are blind doing the reactions, because if it's not working for them, it's quite often a blocking issue, and they cannot participate. They cannot put in the checkbox to say to their e-commerce party that they want to give back a certain product. They can't finish the flow of buying shoes. They cannot identify themselves. They cannot make a meeting with their government. So there are a lot of things that they cannot do if the screen reader / the keyboard interface is not working. So we hope with this app that on the side of the user and on the side of the professional, by learning the screen reader better, that it will be working.
And Paul, we have a question can you put the slide up with the website of the app? Oh, okay, you answered the question, yes.
The link, I was reading the chat as well. This one, screenreader.app. You can find the link to the app. It's quite a basic app still. It took us a few thousand hours to develop because it's quite complicated, especially the Android part, where you basically had to, besides talkback, select the screen reader accessibility settings, and it will just take over. And that makes it complicated, because then you can't have 2 parallel, you can't have talkback and screen reader app as accessibility servers parallel, because then it doesn't know how it works anymore. But if you're practicing the gestures and you get like a pop-up or something, and then our screen reader gestures are not working there anymore, you can get stuck and you can just throw away your phone. So that was the first issues that we had to overcome, because you will really take over the operation system of your phone. So what you see is that also on Google, the most looked for is how to put the screen reader on, because if you by accident put it on, if you don't know the gestures, it's almost impossible to put it off again.
The screen reader, is it case sensitive? Because you typed it in here as capital letters, and I'm wondering, is it case sensitive, or do you? It's just your.
if you in the Apple or Google Play Store, if you add screenreader and then you find our app, it's this icon. And otherwise, if you go to the website screenreader.app, it doesn't matter if it's capital or not. You can find the website as well. It's really basic website. You can go to the stores and you can see what you can learn here. That's it. So for us, it's a first app. It's technically possible to read out everything, and that we get feedback and that we can help people learning the gestures. And then in the next steps, I think it would be really cool to make kind of e-learning that everyone in the world can have, like, I don't know, like certain questions, certain steps, and that in the end they know how to learn. They know how to use the screen reader. For example, what we see in the Netherlands is that there's one of the eye diseases, macular degeneration. Basically, your eyesight will get worse and worse and worse. So first, you're still able to see, and you know that in 1 or in 2 or in 5 years you're going to be blind or almost blind. And what happens in the Netherlands is first you need to get blind before your health insurance says, hey, you're blind. Now we can have your trainings. But then at that time you just started to become blind, and you have to go into the public transport, and it's really frustrating. And what I hope is that this app can be used by people before they get blind already, and that they already know so much and are so much better digitally skilled before they get blind. So this is a very specific group of users. And what I see is that in the Netherlands, there's also kind of like all kind of institutions, and there's also budget available to help people to learn to become digitally skilled. But I see that there's a lot of downloads from America, but also from India in this app, and they probably don't have public health care available. So then they're really using this app to learn the gestures. And I think that the current app is okay, especially for professionals, especially once you already know how to use the screen reader and want to know to become more advanced, to just check on your knowledge. But I think that if you have a step-by-step learning, that it would be even better. And that's something that we really want to create. And yeah, maybe in the coming years that we have time for that.
Paul, thank you so much for a great demonstration and some great examples. Ginger, do you have any other questions? Or does anyone else have any other questions for Paul?
I see a question in the chat. I could see this knowledge being used while driving. Yes, this. And for example, what I do myself is, like, I was recording an e-learning 2 weeks ago, and I had to like put buttons that you can operate your phone with only one button. That was really cool to experience. But also the keyboard. With the keyboard you can control your complete mobile phone. But I was always in the train with my laptop open. I had to bring my big laptop with me. But now I just put my phone, put it in front of me, and put my loose keyboard out and just start typing emails, and you can control your complete device with only the keyboard. I think it's very cool, this kind of possibilities. Also with voice control, that you can activate, basically, as you can say, show labels, and you can operate your complete device. And I think it's so cool that these things are becoming possible. And of course, there's some technical limitations because voice control is not possible. It's not available in the Dutch language. If you have a Dutch app, it doesn't really work that well. But more and more of these tools, accessibility, assistive technologies become available, and it really makes, for some people, the difference between being able to participate or not. And for some, it's just fun. Like if you're cutting your vegetables and just operate your phone with voice access, I think it's really cool that it's possible.
We have a question in the chat from Christian.
Is it possible to collaborate for the future developing of such apps? If yes, how? I think it should be possible. Like for us, we are helping companies with app accessibility. So this is a project for us from 2 years ago, and we recently translated it because it was a relatively small project, and now we just stopped. We didn't have time to promote it the last months because we were so busy with app.org, the platform. It took us a few thousand hours to develop things in the state that it is now. I will very quickly document guidelines. I hope I don't press something away. Guidelines, WCAG. So this is the cool thing about app.org, is that if you go to 1.1.1 non-text content, basically if there's some images on the screen or some visual elements like icons, you can, without having to experience the WCAG, which is really complicated, we just make a little summary. What is the impact? How can you check it? Is there alternative text available for all non-text content? And then there's a solution in Flutter, iOS, Android, React Native, Xamarin. So this is, yeah, for developers, it's really cool solution. And we have it for all success criteria available. But if you say, okay, I'm a developer, I don't know what WCAG is, you can go to preferences, just go to Android, how to do a button, text view, accessibility announcement. And you can just see what you can do on Android and switch here to iOS. So it's really a lot of cool. This is really cool project where we really think internationally. And we heard that the biggest development parties, also in the world of accessibility, saw those code examples and said, "Oh, that's cool to have." So this is also where we put focus on. So to answer the question, we have really a lot of projects going on now, and we want to focus on the high impact ones. I think even the screenreader app, I'll check it. You can even go to the source code if you want to use it. The source code is available. So what we want is that this gets further, and I don't know how. What I think is that if there's an international eye association that says, I have some pocket money left, that's some tens of thousands of euros, we can already make a next version. And it's not maybe us, but we will hire some developers or cooperate with some developers. So it's not the biggest investments to make some next steps, but we should just meet the right people. But it's downloaded 4,000 times. So I think it's really, for us, it was a very nice surprise to see that so many people are using it already. And that's why I reached out to Judith again to say, okay, it's a lot of people are using it. Like, how can we share it to more people, and how can we make the next step? So if someone says, I think it's really cool and I want to spend my time on developing it further, just reach out. I don't know what's going to be the next step, but what we till now are doing is that if an opportunity comes by, we just see if it's going to be, if it could work, and if it's going to be the right step. Just if you have ideas, just let us know.
Paul, there's a question wants to know if you can share the GitHub link.
Yeah, that's sometimes a problem. I'm not a developer myself, but let me check if I.
Yes, I think a lot of people use GitHub to share ideas.
Yeah. We I know that we have it. And I don't know if you can you find people there as well?
I've never used it. I don't know. In answer to Ginger's questions, yes, the slides, Jolly will put the slides up on the presentation after the session.
Okay.
And once we have those, and then it'll be up there.
Okay. I share the name of Jan-Jaap de Groot. He's we're doing the foundation. We initiated the foundation with the two of us. Now there are more people in it, and we are co-owners of Abra. Yeah, maybe you can find in the GitHub his name, or if you look at screenreader.app, you should be able to find it. And otherwise, let me know. Send me an email about on paul@abra.nl.
Right. Thanks. And if we have the person's name, Jan-Jaap de Groot, JANJAAPDEGROOT.
Yeah,
So that way we will have it saved in the captioning so that people can actually know how to spell it correctly.
Yeah, it's Jan-Jaap de Groot. It's a Dutch name. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks for participating. It was really nice to share the story. Although Jan-Jaap was developing the app, he's on holiday now, so I was the one having to share this story with you. I hope you liked it, and yeah, if you have any ideas or suggestions, or you just want to add it to your newsletter, or you want to share it online, just let us know. It would be nice that more people will use this free app.
Yeah, Ginger Pack works for Diplo, and so they hopefully will share it widely around their community as well. Ginger, do you want to say anything?
Well, first of all, my thanks to all of you for preparing this, because it's really exciting. I really like having a different focus on how to address the problems as I work through accessibility options, which is just a high priority for Diplo, right? We're like a think tank on policy and diplomacy, but with a particular focus in internet and digital governance. So it's really appropriate, and it's really high on our radar. So what I really find interesting about this, Judith, Paul, whoever is representing ISOC, is that it's a different approach. It's almost playful, and it's very practical for demonstration and testing. So I think, Judith, even for awareness raising, this is a great opportunity, because we can show people this is what happens.
Yeah.
So,
what is the cool thing about how we want to approach it is that basically, like, we do, like, for example, an auditing. That's a very long report with all issues. What we do is that we make a print screen with the subtitles on, and then you have the title, for example. It has focus, screen reader focus, and you can see that it's like a login screen. That's the title, but it's missing comma heading. It's missing that. It's one of the issues in 1.3.1. But because we make a print screen with the subtitles on and saying 1.3.1, all headings should have a heading, the issue is right away clear for the developer. And if you then have the site that I just shared with 1.3.1 heading, and this is the solution in how you just program it, you make accessibility really easy for the developer. And that's what we're doing with that's professional testing, but also with the user. We have so many videos of users testing apps, and they just go through the app and say, yeah, it's very cool that what the biggest news site in the Netherlands, that you have tabs. but why don't you give them a name? I just hear tab, tab, tab. Say to me, it's a home tab. I don't know, like edition tab, sport tab. It's not that complicated to fix. It takes 2 minutes. It's really easy. But by connecting users and images to the developers, it really gets powerful, especially when you can just share the tools to help developers to learn the screen reader, to experience what the user is experiencing, to show them what is wrong, and also show them how to fix it. And what we see is that the WCAG it has its purpose. But it's for a developer that never heard about WCAG. It's a really big step to take. And what we did is, and yes, it's not perfect, because in our documentation, in our guideline, you can see that with non-text content, we say it in 3 or 4 lines. If there is an image, make sure it has a label. But in the WCAG, it's way more. It's written there so complicated that it's true. Here, all non-text content that is presented to the user as a text alternative that serves the equivalent purpose except of this list and how to meet it. There's, for a graph, for example, there's a different techniques for situation A, B, C, D, E. So if you have to start reading this, for the developer, it's not possible anymore. It doesn't have the time for this. And what we wanted to make it really easy to get to the code. And yes, maybe there will be too many labels, or the labels will not be according to the WCAG, that it's too long or too short, but they make a first step. And by doing the first step and to become aware, then at a certain moment, there should be a few really experts that know the WCAG in and out to really make sure that you're complying and that but for the other 100 developers in your team, it should be fun. First step should be nice, should be helping the users. It should be easy, fun, and understandable. And that's what we want to, that's what we're in process of, like making all kinds of tools in order to get there. Yeah, I can share an audit report with you, Ginger, if you like. I think our reports, it's of course also not perfect, but let me check.
I would just add to Paul, excuse me for interrupting, Paul, but
Yeah,
we think of awareness raising with the general public and with organizations, but sometimes that last step of reaching our own developers and coders, if we could make the coders and developers see it as easy, fun, and understandable, that's the ultimate success. So I loved that.
yeah. So this is our report. It's stated that at 2.1.2 there should be no keyboard trap. So in one of the news apps, when using the screen reader, there isn't the possibility to exit this pop-up by clicking next to the pop-up, because when you have a screen reader, you can only focus on the first and the second item, and there's no close button. So you're going to be trapped if you don't want to execute one of those two. This is a WCAG issue, but for developers, it makes it really clear, because they see the image and say, oh, we forgot the close button. And then 2.1.2, we can go to the side. 2.1.2, no keyboard trap. And the site is still in beta, so it takes some time to load. There should be a code example in the future. So then it comes easy and fun. That's what we want to achieve. And yeah, we're in the first steps, but I think with the the platform app.org, but also tools like the screenreader app and this audit reports. It just makes it a little bit more fun. Yeah, you can quote me. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Like
we only have a few minutes left. If anyone has any final questions, otherwise, yes, and the app, this whole video will be on the A11ySIG website, and we'll have the slides there, and we will also put it on. Jolly will make sure it gets put on archive.org so that it'll be available also. And just to make clear, this this tutorial was done by the Accessibility Special Interest Group, which is a project of ISAC New York. It's different from the sister organization, which is the Accessibility Standing Group of the Internet Society. So let's try to make sure that we're not confused. Yes, the people are often the same, but it is the Accessibility Special Interest Group, which is a project of ISAC New York. Any final questions for Paul? I think this is a great app, and I think your shortcut for Wicked are great. And I think, as you say, we should showcase this to a lot of different groups, with the IGF in the regional and the local IGFs who make little apps for this.
Yeah, sounds nice. Thanks, everyone. And getting early.
Yes, we're trying to make this available for Asia, for all the regions. And this is the best time to do it, to make sure that all the regions can access it. That it's a little late for Asia Pacific, but not too late, and it's early, and it's the only time that's really good for everyone.
Yeah, so nice to have a crowd from all over the world, and that's for us the first. Like app.org is like, we had it already for 1 year in Dutch available, and in the Netherlands, if you talk about app accessibility, then like everyone knows apps, and like it's basically a niche in a niche, because in accessibility it's not that big world. But if you talk about specifically for apps accessibility, that's really a small niche. In the Netherlands, there are only like maybe 5 people active in specifically accessibility for apps. And of course, there are some developers that know how to develop, but they're not actively, increasing the awareness on app accessibility. But for us, it's really big step to go from only the Netherlands to go now to Europe and the rest of the world. So the screenreader app is cool that we made it international, and app.org is in English available as well. So maybe it's good for 2 o'clock exactly my time.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for everyone.
Glad you enjoyed it, and come to suggest another one for our future ones. We're always open to suggestions of new webinars. Thanks all.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Judith and Paul, especially.